All right. Good evening, folks. Check 1 2, check 1 2. All right, we're good to go. So let's do this. You know the drill. I give everybody a couple minutes to get on, and I will talk about a couple things as we're waiting for folks to join. Let me go over to your comments too. Hey guys, how are you? Fortunately, on if you're in the live chat on Rumble, I will see your comments over there. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that follow button as well. Same thing on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to subscribe, hit that notification button, and that like button. So we'll give everybody a couple of moments to get on here. And I'm well aware. This is the stuff that that irks me. I'll put it that way. Because I knew tonight coming on here that I'd have a small audience to start the show. And the simple reason is because how do I say this without being a jerk? Nobody wants to listen to me. So to each his own. And what I mean by that is I'm gone from Facebook again. Gone. And first of all, thank you to the Patriot who went out of their way to get that page up and running for me to use. It lasted for a short minute, and I'm forever grateful for that. So I do appreciate that. Matter of fact, that new page, I've seen some more faces I haven't seen in a long time, and I made a few new friends as well. So again, very grateful to that Patriot who wants to remain anonymous at this time. So again, I'm gone from Facebook, and here we are. You should already know by now how to find me. I have my link tree in every single description in my bio on any of my platforms, whether it's you see at the bottom of your screen, whether it's X, Pop Talk, True Social, even on Rumble, YouTube, they're all there. Telegram. So, all right. So again, we're just giving everybody a moment to get on here. Let's jump over to Rumble. Hey, we're getting some people on there. That's good. Hey guys, how are you? I see you. I see you, Wisconsin. I see you, Florida. Good stuff. Hopefully, some of you are in the comfort of your living room too, watching maybe on your big screen. I don't know if I mentioned this one show. I went to recently. I went to my cousin's house, and he has a really nice television, 4K, the whole nine, very expensive. And I said, "Here, let's put on Rumble. I'm just kind of curious about something." Boy, I mean, I was happy to see that I come through crystal clear because the amount of what you don't see right now of work and equipment that is used to pull off a show like this. Believe me, it's not a simple point and shoot just with a cell phone. I'm not cut from that cloth. I don't come from that mold. I come from broadcasting school. I do everything the way it should be done and professionally, and it's paying off. It's really nice, and you guys get to enjoy it as well. And of course, I'm just taking a couple minutes to ramble before we get started. Just giving everybody a moment to pop on because I'm paying attention to the numbers over there. We're getting some people on Rumble. Okay, very good, very good. Excellent. Hey guys, I'll bring up a couple comments while we're at it too. Hey Kim, how are you? Before we get underway here, Nevada, Pennsylvania, basically next door neighbors. Ohio, PA. Hey Penny, how are you? All right, fantastic. So again, if you're just joining, I am gone from Facebook. I'm not on there anymore. It's nice. I gotta say it's nice because I do get a lot of followers that when I appear, when I sneak back on, they come quickly, and I'm very grateful for that. So I have to be doing something right. It's amazing what big tech is doing, and we'll start from here. Okay. And a couple more people jumping in. Hey, there's Montana in the house. That's awesome. All right. Let's do this. So I got suspended this morning during my first cup of coffee. And after I got suspended, where's that? This broke. Oh my goodness gracious. The House Judiciary GOP just passed the Censorship Accountability Act, which will rein in big tech's ability to silence Americans online. I realize it's got to pass in the Senate, and it probably won't. We all understand what kind of censorship we're in. I have an absolute. I have a headache from today already. It's, don't get me wrong. Sure, nobody can ever get used to it, and that's 40 or 41. I think it's 41 accounts now, but who's counting? And it does become disappointing. The reason it becomes disappointing is the amount of time and energy that I put into a platform like that, and they go to shut you down. I'm waiting for that class action lawsuit because I'm going to be the first one at the front of that line. I'm waiting for that day. Okay, let's get underway here. So I think we're going to have everybody on we can. We're not going to make this, I always say that, it goes longer, but I'm going to do my best. We'll keep this within the hour here. Not going to go long tonight, all right, because I have plans to come on here this weekend as well. And I will come on this weekend. I do ask this, okay, for those of you who are on the communist platform, Facebook, and I can say that because I'm not broadcasting on there. So if you're on that commie platform, I ask you to take, whether you're on Rumble or YouTube, I prefer Rumble, the Rumble link. I'm more invested in Rumble than I am YouTube, even though I'm broadcasting on YouTube, but I prefer you share the Rumble link. But you can share the YouTube if that's what you choose. But if you could share that on Facebook, I'd appreciate that. Share that link out there and put a post with the link. Let them know this is my broadcast tonight, and tell people too, this is where they could follow me at. I think it's very important. Sure, you could follow me on Telegram and all the other accounts, but it's very important for you to continue to follow MindFix TV on Rumble and YouTube. It's very important. Why is it so important? Because I guarantee you that the vast majority of you who are listening now and who will listen on this replay do not have, and I'm not saying this disrespectfully at all, but you do not have a clue, for the most part. Again, I'm not being disrespectful. I'm being upset at mainstream media, but you do not have a clue what today's news was, right? A lot of people right now, what are they thinking? What is in their mindset right now? The border all day. Trump and Biden at the border, at the border, at the border. I posted it all on my platforms all day. But so freaking what is what I say. So freaking what? Why do I say so freaking what? Because one, nothing's getting done. All right. Biden went for an opportunity there. And that was just a photo op. And God bless President Trump. He doesn't even have to go there. He doesn't have to win any points with anybody. But God bless that man. And he's got my vote, that's for sure. But the major news of the day does not come anywhere close to the border. And those are all important things. All right. But the major news is Vladimir Putin and the talk. And before I get into all that, I'm going to take a step back because I can tell everybody right now. And I'm gonna get into the Putin stuff for the in a couple moments here. I want to play a couple clips. I want to play the one clip of President Trump at the border, though. But I can tell everybody this. I take a great responsibility in what I do, what I say, and how I project things, and how I project my posts, and how I project myself, and even right this moment speaking to you. I realize that a lot of ears do listen to me, and I'm grateful for that. Another thing I have found out recently too is that I have younger eyes and ears watching and listening to me. That is so encouraging to me. I can't tell you how much that means to me that I know that information right now. That I know there's certain people out here who their child watches me, and when I say child, they're in their 20s. Uh, okay, and there are a few of them out there, and that always sits in the back of my mind because they are the future generation. They are the ones that are going to uh, run this country, and they need to step up to the plate, and they have to have the right information, and they need to know what is going on. It's very important for me to never shove anything down anybody's throat. I do that with my news and politics and all that reporting. Also, I do that in my faith walk too. I don't shove stuff down people's throat. I'd rather be the example or give us out information. You do with it what you will without projecting fear. And that's why I say I take a great responsibility in this. We are on a highway to hell, is what we are. It has nothing to do with the open border. I have said time and time again, and believe me, I have the clips loaded. I have said time and time again, and I will say it again right now. I have predicted where we're going with this. I am sticking with my prediction. I am not backing down from my prediction. And my prediction is about what we consider as a scare event. I am, I would say that if I had it defined the Great Awakening, and if we go back to when the Great Awakening really did start to happen, and it happened obviously during the Trump presidency when everything started to go down and the mainstream media flipped a switch on all their assets, or the government flipped a switch on all their assets in the mainstream media, and that's just not the news. You know what it is. It's all the news, but it's also all the late night talk shows, you know, Kimmel, all those shows during the day, the witches over at the View. I mean, that is state media. That is not entertainment. None of that is entertainment. They approved that during Trump's first round of first presidency. They're an arm of the government, is what they are. Now we know that today, obviously. But as far as the Great Awakening goes, there was a moment where I would say to myself, "What is the Great Awakening?" I don't mean the Great Awakening to waking up to the truth, technically. Okay, I'm past that point. All right, I am past that point. I am not at that point anymore where I have to be fed information for the truth. And what I mean by that is, humbly say this, that there's a lot that I do know. And nothing new surprises me anymore. It's to be expected. So the Great Awakening for me is my prediction. For those of you who follow me for a long time, it is in alignment. And today, February 29th, 2024, I woke up this morning. One of the first things I did is I went right to the media sources that I use to get information out of Russia because I knew Vladimir Putin was having his annual speaking engagement today, and that was in the middle of the night while we were all sleeping. And I wanted to hear the dialogue because I go right back to the dialogue, and I wasn't alive, but I've done my research and going right back to the dialogue that went on during the Cuban Missile Crisis. There's some movies out there too with the Cuban Missile Crisis. I think it's called 13 Days or something like that. Oh, Kevin Costner's in it. It's been a long time. If you haven't seen that one, if you're in the comments, you can put it in the comments for 13 days or something like that. I might be right, or it's 13 days and something on it. So, all right. So I'm going to get into the Putin stuff, but there's a couple things I want to play real quick, and I'm going to lead up to the Putin things because I'm going to tell you right now, if you're going to tune into me, I'm going to make a pledge right now. I'm going to continue. You can always get my news on every aspect. You know that. I don't have to tell you that. On all my platforms, every day, all day. And I could tell you my number one priority, because I know this. I am so damn confident that nobody could ever sway this from me. That the number one thing that we need to be absolutely concerned about right now is what is going on between Russia and NATO. And right now, it's the dialogue, and it's also the daily movement. And what I mean by movement is what they're doing, what puzzle pieces, what chess pieces is NATO and Russia doing every single day. I watch that like a hawk, because I know for a fact, as far as the Great Awakening goes, there's something going on. There's a lot more people right now that are going to vote for Donald Trump. And there are people jumping the Democratic ship and going to vote for Trump in many categories, whether it's black or Hispanic. The numbers are so much higher. And yes, it has a lot to do with what Joe Biden did, but there's another problem. Okay. The other problem is it's kind of a combination. One, we have to get rid of one of the most important things is we have to get rid of state-run media. I don't know how it's going to happen. I really don't. I don't have the answer for that. It takes people like myself and all the people who do what I do to come out here and keep delivering. Don't give up. Never quit, no matter what they do. The problem is that people. Here's a problem we have on the truth side. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. People are too damn scared to post certain things because they're afraid of big tech. They're afraid of getting shut down, or they're afraid of the Fed showing up to their front door. I'm not. And I'm not some. You guys know me. That doesn't scare me one bit. I mean, it's ridiculous to me why they would. First and foremost, it's not like I'm putting out information like WikiLeaks or something like that. I'm just reporting the truth, and I have no idea why Facebook has such a hard on for me, and they do. It's really unbelievable. I have done everything possible, from IP addresses to VPNs to you name it. We've done it all, and there's just no way around it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I had people reach out, excuse me, to me today again and said, let's go again. Don't quit. Don't quit. And they're encouraging me not to quit. I'll never quit. But I have no interest in making another Facebook page. I didn't even make the last one, but I will allow that to happen. If somebody wants to do it again, fine, we'll do it. If I last an hour, so be it. If I last a week, like this last one, I think it was a week. Yeah, probably maybe a week. Yeah. So we'll see. If it happens, you'll obviously be informed. So, but the Great Awakening, what I was referring to, is a lot of people that are coming out of the Democratic Party now, and a lot of people are turning and they're going to vote for Trump because we're seeing Biden destroy the country right now. Again, I don't believe in Biden for 1 second is running this country at all. I don't even believe that Zelensky. We like to point fingers and blame, okay, and yell at the television screen or your device. Joe Biden is not to blame. I know that sounds crazy, but he's not. He's just a puppet. Zelensky as well. He is a puppet for the deep state. They're just there dangled in front of your TV screen so you have a visual. That's exactly what they are. They're stuck. They're stuck in the middle is what they are. I'm not making excuses for them, but they're not the ones calling the shots at all. We all know about the Biden crime family. As a matter of fact, today, the whole thing with Hunter, if you don't know this, all right, and I just reposted before I came on the air. The transcripts have dropped apparently on a PDF form, I think it was. And I did repost real quick. I didn't even read them because I didn't have time, but I did repost them already. And it's from yesterday's hearing, deposition, whatever it was, with Hunter Biden. And I'll tell you what, since I just said that, and before we get into all the Putin stuff, I'll play the clip right now. Check this out. Now, yesterday, Hunter Biden came out for exactly like 1 minute, if that. Soon as it was over. Now, I'm not going to play. The clip I'm about to play is a close-up. You make your own decision here. I've already made my own, and you'll understand what I'm talking about in just a moment. But you make your own decision with this clip I'm about to play. And this is Hunter Biden yesterday, standing behind his, I believe, attorney. And his attorney was saying a few words as they were leaving the hearing and going out into the parking lot. But you're going to see that the video is zooming in on Hunter Biden. You decide. Check it out.
Are there? They might talk to reporters.
That there was any financial transactions that involved Hunter with his father, period. It seems to me that the Republican members wanted to spend more time talking about my client's addiction than they could ask any question that had anything to do with what they call their impeachment inquiry. So, as I said before, there is no evidence because there is no evidence, and today only confirmed that. Thank you.
Come after a public hearing.
You know, that's the first thing I thought of when I saw that. Here, this is the first thing I thought of. Oh, crazy eyes. Oh, my goodness gracious. Oh, it made me laugh. All right, now there's going to be a debate. All right. One of the things that people I gotta go to the comments. All right. So somebody said I'm frozen. I can't be frozen. I got a perfect stream going here. Either you're gonna think he's some sort of a cyborg for sure. The dude didn't blink one bit. Matter of fact, I wanted to blink my eyes during that because they were drying out. The dude didn't blink. Here, let's get a one more time.
It seems to me that
that was it for an entire minute. Not one blink. So now I'll give you my opinion, of course, and I'm qualified to do this. I don't know if Mr. Biden is sober right now, put it that way. So, or unless, you guys know how I feel about the whole thing in masks and stuff. I don't get into that, but yeah, I'll remain open-minded here. It's quite crazy. So I don't know what the hell's going on anymore when it comes to these things. But yeah, he's probably high as a kite, people are saying in the comments. So yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was fun to play. So all right, real quick. We had some breaking news before I came on the air. Apparently, it looks like Maryland State House was on lockdown after the Baltimore Banner report. I'm reading it right now. Says that there are people with guns within the State House, and police officers were seen running inside the building with weapons. Here's a little clip of that real quick.
Robin,
So I don't have
No, we were outside. We're outside now and just watching them go inside.
Okay, so I don't have an update on that at the moment, but once I get off the air, I'll look into that and I'll post an update for you guys. So that was breaking news right before we came on the air here. Also, real quick, did you see this? Okay, I'll tell you what. We'll do a little entertainment here, then we'll get into the Putin stuff, and then we're going to end it. Because the Putin stuff I got here is loaded up. And you got to sit here for this because if you haven't seen it, it's I don't know how else to put it, but it's a holy crap moment here of what was said today. I mean, I feel that I'm the only person on this planet and nobody's paying any damn attention on sometimes, and that's how I'm feeling today. And I'm sure you can understand that. Depends on your day as well. So, but real quick, let's. I want to play this for you. Two things. I promised the President Trump clip. This is one that's important because I start off about the border. Here's the short clip of him today talking about Lake and Riley. All right, it's very important.
I just think you're doing an incredible job. Just 1 week ago, a beautiful 22-year-old nursing student from Georgia was barbarically attacked, almost unrecognizable, while she was out on her morning run. She was doing keep herself in shape. She was a beautiful young woman. She was a great person, best nursing student there was. I spoke to her parents yesterday. They're incredible people. They're devastated beyond belief. But she was beautiful, just so beautiful in so many ways, and brutally assaulted, horrifically beaten, kidnapped, and savagely murdered. The monster that charged in the death is an illegal alien migrant who was led into our country and released into our communities by crooked Joe Biden. He's crooked. I took the name away from Hillary because she's no longer relevant, I guess. She was terrible, but what he is doing is just unbelievable. Joe Biden will never say Lake and Riley's name, but we will say it and we will remember it. We're not going to forget her. It's been just a horrible story that we've had to live with for the last few days. It's hard to believe. And her parents are just, they can never be the same. Great people.
Okay. So first of all, there always seems to be somebody whose name is going to stand out. And I'll explain what I mean. So we have Lake and Riley, just like we had Ashley Babbitt. We're not going to ever forget these names, obviously. Laken died a terrible, ugly, brutal, violent death as a direct result of the open borders. And nobody can argue that. But here's the one thing. Even though Lake and Riley's name is out there now, I get that. I understand that. There are so many people, including myself. There's things I don't talk about. I've never disclosed publicly. All right. And I won't technically, and you'll understand. But we've all been affected by someone who has died or have friends or acquaintances, and we know people, and they have died as a direct result of open borders, especially with the fentanyl crisis. I just read today that Rick Harris from Pawn Stars, his son that died, well, that toxicology came back today, and sure enough, no surprise, it was fentanyl. So people are not going out there, folks, and if they are, that's just mind-blowing to me. They're not going out there using fentanyl. They're not. This stuff is being laced in drugs that they're getting out there, whether it's their cocaine fix, their heroin fix. I don't care what it is. And be careful, folks, out there, for you marijuana smokers. I'm just telling you, it's very bad out there. I can unequivocally tell you that I am so happy that I am not out there anymore. I don't know if it would be able to scare me to death or not to stop, because I can't imagine what it's like for a current active addict, if you will, out there taking that chance of playing Russian roulette out there today. I know for a fact that this particular moment could have scared me straight. Luckily, I don't have to worry about it anymore. But there was a time, And I just know that game, that dirty, ugly game out there. And it's one I never want to relive, but I will always share my experience, strength, and hope to help other people. And I can tell people right now that is, if there is a 4-alarm fire right now, it is that in this country. It is the open border. As much as I'm talking about Putin, NATO, and nuclear war, which is number one, the open border is our 4-alarm fire, and it needs to be addressed. People are dying on a daily basis. It's not necessarily in the news or the public eye. And I'm sure somebody out there who's listening to me right now is saying, yes, my son, my daughter, my grandson, whatever, my husband, my wife, I don't know, they've lost them as a direct result of that. Prior to this open border stuff, I was way before Trump, the Trump presidency, and we're going back to early, going back into to 2007. I was working in the world of recovery, and I was blessed to be working as one of the directors in a local rehab, and I had a front row seat to it every day, people coming off the streets. And the number one drug I could tell you was heroin, and being addicted to heroin intravenously. So that was the number one drug, and there was no fentanyl problem then. But now we have this fentanyl problem. And I was just reflecting the other day thinking, because I know the people who run that rehab now. I don't communicate really with them anymore because I had left that world. And the reason I left that world is because of two reasons. One, I wanted to get back into what I'm doing now. This is what I'm born to do. It was just a season in my life that God plucked me out of the face of the earth, sat me down and said, you're going to learn something now, and you're going to learn what it's like to help others and give back. And that was a big part of a life-changing moment for me. And it made me a better man today. That's why I like putting other people before me and not being selfish. And that's what keeps me sober today. Not being a selfish person or a selfish individual, putting other people before me, helping others, that type of thing. And it's a great reward. I didn't know it. It is priceless. There's nothing on the face of this earth that could ever give you a high. And it's a high I get from helping other people without needing any type of anything in return. I don't need a simple thank you is fine, but I don't need anything in return. I don't need any notoriety, and I don't need to make it public. That's the key for me. So if you're out there listening right now and you're dealing with what I'm talking about with a loved one, I'm telling you right now, that is the key to everything. It is a very selfish disease. So, but again, I did not plan this show to go down this road. It just happens, and these are the things that happen. So hopefully I didn't bring too many people down. But yes, a lot of people are dying as a direct result of that. Okay, so real quick, we'll play this. This will be the entertainment part, and then we'll get into the couple clips of Putin, and then we'll wrap it up. So did you see James O'Keefe yesterday? Apparently he went into the Equinox gym. That's what it's called. I didn't even know. I had to look it up before the show. It's a gym called Equinox. And he went in there I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'll play a part of it. He's going into the gym in New York yesterday. And the judge who just had the Trump case that loved the TV camera that slapped Trump with the $400 million lawsuit. He was working out there, and James O'Keefe went in there, and I'll let the video speak for itself. So this clip is from yesterday that was released. Now, I don't know if it happened yesterday, but just recently. It was released yesterday. Then a clip just before I came on the air was released from the gym itself. So we'll play this one first. Check it out.
They got him.
Oh, sorry about that. This one right here.
Equinox in Great Neck, New York, and Arthur the judge is sitting inside the Equinox in New York. So I'm going to go in there and try to talk to him.
I love you. Can I take a selfie with you? Sure. I know why you're here too. What's that? I said I know why you're here. Oh yeah? Absolutely, 100%. When did you get here? Like now usually.
Multiple sources reached out to us about Arthur Engoron, the judge in Manhattan who fined Trump $354 million in damages, barring him from running businesses in New York City for 3 years. One source even sent us a video saying that Arthur Engoron creeps girls out in an Equinox gym in Long Island. At the end of the clip, the woman is visibly annoyed by the judge and tells him to back off, gesturing with her hands. Other sources confirmed the Equinox he works out in at 5 a.m. is in Great Neck, New York, so we decided to work out alongside him.
I'm a huge fan. Huge fan. Thank you for what you did. Thank you so much.
For what?
Thank you for what you did. Man, I must have felt good. Oh, shit. I gotta get these modern people out of the state. Just thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you. What's your day job?
I was wearing the OMG t-shirt which said O'Keefe Media Group, but the judge didn't know who I was.
My day job, I work in publishing. I print magazines. Yeah. But it really means a lot to me. Yeah, he's on that. Yeah.
John?
You're a hero of mine, man. So keep it up. Thank you.
Yep. 10 and 15 reps.
We want to keep a nice tall chest, but it's not nice and low.
I get it. I get it.
What's your name?
Jim.
Jim.
Keep it up. Keep up the good work. Take care.
Welcome to the limit. Take it maybe one step more. Power game's still playing, so you better win it.
So we're on the Palisades Parkway, coming back from the Judge Arthur Engoron sting.
You know, it's definitely spiritually a very dark place inside there. A lot of people looking at me, a lot of eyes wandering, right?
Yes.
So there was a guy that actually came up and was a fan of me, and I thought he may have been pretending to be a fan, but he actually was a fan, but I was trying to play it low-key. Talked to the judge, worked out next to him. He told me that he was strong. Well, he doesn't look very strong, looks very scrawny. And he told me that he was getting a lot of hate mail. I told him I'm a huge fan. And don't let the bastards get you down.
And what a perfect metaphor, what a perfect allegory here.
Look at this, looks like a scene out of Sleepy Hollow. Look at this fog. It looks like we're leaving Dante's Inferno here in the suburbs of New York City.
Okay, so that was pretty much it. Really wasn't that big of a deal. No breaking news story, but he got him, creeping out. James did say it was spiritually dark. Okay, inside there. Well, apparently they didn't like it. Go figure. They didn't like him creeping on the judge, and then obviously once they found out that it was O'Keefe, most likely. I'm surprised. I don't even know the whole details of he goes to that gym or how it was set up. I don't know. But here's what happened just moments ago. I already posted it on my other pages. Here's James O'Keefe getting a phone call from the Equinox gym. And this is James taking a phone call from the gym.
Equinox at Great Neck calling. I just want to let you know, going forward, you are officially house canceled from ever joining any Equinox going forward in the future, okay?
Why is that?
So you're just because you have been officially house canceled, so please do not inquire any Equinox going forward. You will not be allowed to rejoin at any time.
You won't give me a reason?
No, there's no reason to be given. So just please going forward, I will house cancel your membership. You have been canceled effective immediately, and you will no longer be joined to any Equinox. Any Equinox.
We have girls that have claimed that Judge Engoron is creeping them out every day, every visit. Will the judge Engeron be house canceled for his behavior towards women in your facility?
That is not up to your discretion to tell me what other people think. If they have those concerns,
Well, it's on video. It's got millions of views online, so it's going viral.
I understand.
So will the judge be?
Conversation to be had.
Will the judge
no
be?
Conversation to be had.
Well, I think creeping girls out and approaching them like that is serious business.
That is your opinion, sir.
It's not my opinion. It's on video. It's on videotape. It's not an opinion. It's a matter of fact.
Okay, that conversation is done.
Are you injecting your politics into the situation, ma'am?
There is no politics to be had. It is in the member contract that there are no cell phone uses in the club.
How about?
So you are in direct violation of that. So I will just let you know that your membership is officially canceled of today, and you will be house canceled. So you'll no longer be allowed to join any Equinox going forward, okay?
How about the creeping the girls out?
Have a great night, sir.
Recording the creeping the girls.
Night,
You have any? Oh, she hung up the phone. Equinox, I'm banned for life.
Well, there you go. Simply for reporting the truth. Oh boy, what a world we live in. What a world we live in. And I get it as well, because when it comes to reporters that are undercover reporters, there's a fine line, just in my opinion. That is one area I never would have want to worked in that particular field. And it does serve good. Don't get me wrong. It absolutely does. But, it also serves bad at the same time, because it becomes about the reporter. I'm not talking about James. I'm thinking of a local Cleveland guy here on one of our local affiliates who would always go out and do his. And I thought, man, half the things he does, it's all about him. And I just think he's wrong. But it can be good as well. So, and what James just did there, in my opinion, was completely harmless. And for them to cancel him is just ridiculous too. So it is what it is. All right. So, all right, here's what I'd like to do. So I'm going to play a clip here. I'm going to play. All right, I'll go this route. So there's 3 of them. I'm going to play a clip from Lex Friedman podcast, who just interviewed Tucker Carlson this week. Okay. It was quite long. I think it was a couple hours long, 2 or 3 hours, maybe even longer even. And I haven't even watched the whole thing, but I've seen a good handful of clips already, nice clips. And there were several I could have brought up on the show tonight, but I want to bring this particular clip in. All right. There's good reason for it, and we'll talk about it. I may pause it along the way. Okay. And we'll go from there. And now listen, it's 10 minutes. I'm not playing the whole 10 minutes. So we'll go from here. All right. This is, again, Tucker Carlson just, yesterday, I believe it was, on Lex Friedman.
What was that like? The conversation off camera, like you walking around with him. What was the content of the conversation?
I mean, I can't, I feel bad even with Putin or anybody like talking about.
Sorry to interrupt, which I didn't tell you. He asked him what it was like walking around with him. He's referring to Tucker in Russia with Vladimir Putin, and he's asking him a question about kind of off the record with Putin. And of course, if you work in media, you're not going to divulge off the record too much at all, without breaking that trust and that confidentiality.
Stuff that is off the record, but I'll just say that when I said that he didn't want to fight with NATO or with the U.S. State Department or with Joe Biden because he wants a settlement, that's a very informed perspective. He doesn't, you say whatever you want about that, believe it or not, but that is true. So
he's open for peace, for peace negotiations.
Look, Russia tried to join NATO in 2000. That's a fact. Okay, they tried to join NATO. So just think about this. NATO exists to keep Russia contained.
Mm-hmm.
It exists as a bulwark against Russian territorial expansion. And whether or not Russia has any territorial ambitions is another question. Like, why would it? It's the largest landmass in the world, whatever. But that's why it exists. So if Russia seeks to join NATO, it is by definition a sign that NATO's job is done here. We can declare victory and go home. The fact that they turned him down is like so shocking to me, but it's true. Then he approaches the next president, George W. Bush. That was with Bill Clinton at the end of his term in 2000. He approaches the next president and said, let's, in our next missile deal, let's align on this, and we'll designate Iran as our common enemy. Iran, which is now, effectively in league with Russia, thanks to our insane policies. But, and George W. Bush, to his credit, is like, well, that seems like kind of an innovative, good idea. And Condi Rice, who's like one of the stupidest people ever to hold power in the United States, if I can say, who's like monomaniacally anti-Russia because she had an advisor at Stanford who was, or something, during the Cold War. No, we can't do that. And Bush is just weak. And so he agreed. It's like, what? That is crazy. If you're fighting with someone and the person says, you know what, actually our interests align, and you've spent 80% of your mental disk space on hating me and opposing me or whatever, but actually we can be on the same team. If you don't at least see that as progress, like what? Why would you, if your interest is in helping your country, what's the counter argument? I don't even understand it. And no one has even addressed any of this. The war of Russian aggression. Yeah, it was a war of Russian aggression for sure. But how did we get there? We got there because Joe Biden and Tony Blinken dispatched Kamala Harris, who does not freelance this stuff, okay? Fair to say, to the Munich Security Conference 2 years ago this month, February 2022, and said in a press conference to Zelensky, poor Zelensky, we want you to join NATO. This was not in a backroom thing. This was in public at a press conference. Knowing, because he said it like 4,000 times, we don't want nuclear weapons from the United States or NATO on our western border. Duh. And days later, he invaded. So like, what is that? And if you even, I raised that question in my previous job, and I was denounced as, of course, a traitor or something. But okay, great, I'm a traitor. What's the answer? What's the answer? These are not into, Toria Nuland, who I know, not dumb, hasn't helped the U.S. in any way, an architect of the Iraq War, architect of this disaster, one of the people who destroyed the U.S. dollar. Okay, fine. But she's not stupid. So like, you're trying to get a war by acting that way. What's the other explanation? By the way, NATO didn't want Ukraine because it didn't meet the criteria. So for admission, so why would you say that? Because you want a war. That's why. And that war has enriched a lot of people to the tune of billions. So I don't care if I sound like some kind of left-wing conspiracy nut, because I'm neither left-wing nor a conspiracy nut. Tell me how I'm wrong.
Who do you think is behind it? If you were to analyze, like zoom out, looking at the entirety of human history, the military-industrial complex, you said Kamala Harris. Is it individuals? Is it like this collective flock that people are just pro-war as a collective?
It's the hive mind. It's, and I, spent my whole life in DC from 85 to 2020, so 35 years. And again, I grew up around it in that world. And I do think that conspiracies, of course there are conspiracies, but in general, the hive mind is responsible for the worst decisions. It's a bunch of people with the same views, totally, views that have not been updated in decades. Putin said something that I thought was absolutely true. I don't know how he would know this, but it is true because I lived among them. So the Soviet Union dissolves in August of 91. On my honeymoon in Bermuda. I'll never forget it. And it was a big thing, If you lived in DC, the receptionist in my office in 1991 was getting a master's in Russian from Georgetown. He was going to be a Sovietologist. And he was among, thousands of people in Washington on that same track. And so the Soviet Union collapses. Well, so does the rationale for a good portion of the U.S. government has been dedicated for over 40 years to opposing this thing that no longer exists. So there's a lot of forward momentum. There's a huge amount of money, the bulk of the money in the richest country in the world, aimed in this direction. And it's very hard for people to readjust, to reassess. And you see this in life all the time. I I love my wife. All of a sudden, she ran off with my best friend. Holy shit. I didn't expect that this morning. Now it's a reality. Like, how do I deal with that? Well, I got stage 4 cancer diagnosis. Okay. And it's all bad, but I'm just saying, like, that's the nature of life. Things that you did not anticipate, never thought you'd have to face, happen out of nowhere. And you have to adjust your expectations and your goals. And people have a hard time with that, very hard time with that. So that's a lot of it. People, if you're Condi Rice, sort of like highly ambitious midwit who gets this degree from Stanford, and you read Tolstoy in the original, sure you did. And you spent your whole life like thinking that Russia is the center of evil in the world. It's kind of hard to be like, well, actually, there's a new threat and it's coming from farther east. It's primarily an economic threat. And maybe all the threats aren't reduced to tank battles. That's the other thing, is these people are so inelastic in their thinking, so lacking imagination and flexibility, that they can't sort of imagine like a new framework. And the new framework is not that you're going to go to war with China over Formosa, Taiwan. No, the framework is that all of a sudden, all the infrastructure in Tijuana is going to be built by China. And like, that's a different kind of threat, but they can't kind of get there because they're not that impressive.
It's perfect for me to pause there, and I'm going to edit there too. So maybe some of you out here didn't know that. Pretty good educational moment right there. I think it's so important for the public to know these things, this history of 2000 when Russia wanted to join NATO. I think it's a brilliant move by Vladimir Putin. And you can actually go watch the video of Putin on George Bush's ranch here in America. What Tucker was talking about, it was during that time of Bill Clinton leaving office and George Bush coming in, and we're talking 9/11 too, but and George Bush coming in, and then Putin meets with George Bush during his presidency over there, and they're talking exactly about what Tucker referenced and about joining NATO, and he mentioned Condoleezza Rice striking it down. But the idea of them joining, this is so important because we're living in a mindset. He talked about the hive mind, and we're living in a mindset today where everything's so fast, so quick, so instant, and we're reading headlines and we're just running with that. That's a problem. That's a major problem. People have to realize that Putin just didn't wake up one morning and decide to go in to Ukraine just because he's some evil dictator. No, that's not the case at all. And knowing this type of information is very important and essential to the months ahead. I'll just say that. The months ahead, that what's coming. Now, I'm not sitting here as the throw all that stuff out. I want you to throw everything out right now when it comes to the conspiracy theories, the Q, the 17, and all their catchphrases. Nothing can stop what is coming and all that. Throw it out. I'm not even going to use that language. Let's just look at the world right now today. Let's look at this moment in time. Let's look at today, 2/29/2024. And with that being said, let's play a clip from today. This is Vladimir Putin speaking today, earlier today. And I want you to realize how important the language is here. It is translated at the bottom of your screen. So here we go.
натовских военных контингентов.
1 second. Let me start that over. Okay. Here we
На
go.
Украину натовских военных контингентов. Но мы помним судьбу тех, кто направлял когда-то свои контингенты на территорию нашей страны. Но теперь последствия для возможных интервентов будут гораздо более трагичными. Они тоже есть оружие, да знают об этом. Сейчас только я сказал. Тоже есть оружие, которое может поражать цели на их территории. И что все они придумывают сейчас, чем пугают весь мир, что все это реально грозит конфликтом с использованием ядерного оружия, а значит уничтожением цивилизации. Они чего, этого не понимают, что ли?
It does risk a conflict with nuclear weapons. I don't know what else to say. I don't know else how to expound on that. I really don't. I mean, everything in that clip right there, that was today, which is mind blowing to me. Something like that. My mindset goes back to the days of duck and cover and the nuclear war scare. And if you were in grade school then and you had to do duck and cover drills and all that, and then they played movies on TV about the nuclear war and annihilation, and it was scary times. It really was. But if you listen to Putin right there, he's not making a threat to anybody. He is warning them not to cross a red line. Don't cross this red line. They've already crossed that red line after the Cold War. And this is why it's so important. The whole world should be listening to this right now. They should be listening to what, like Tucker just said. They need to understand, because this is the part in the beginning of my show when I talked about the Great Awakening. This is the big hand that's going to come out and slap so many Americans across the damn face because they're not going to know what's going to hit them. I'm glad to say I'm prepared for this. I mean, mentally. You can't physically prepare, but I'm mentally prepared, spiritually prepared for whatever the hell's to come, and it's going to come. As a matter of fact, Christopher Wray today, I don't have it loaded, but he did go look up Christopher Wray, go on X, and I believe he said something in regards to the days ahead. He warned about the days ahead. It's going to get really bad the closer we get to the election. So I tried to read between those lines, and I pay attention to what everyone is, to all the talking points of what our government is saying, all our officials of what they're saying. Now we're stupid. We're completely idiotic and stupid. The things we say, this government says, they're just pushing that man's buttons. That's what they're doing. He's not going to act, and he's not going to launch a nuclear warhead just because they say the wrong thing. The only way that's going to happen, and that moment's going to come, I'm telling everybody right now, is to keep an eye on NATO and what is going on, because they want it bad. What is going on in this country? They do not want that man to be president of the United States, Donald J. Trump, and they will do whatever it takes. Because if Trump comes in, it's game on and it's game over. The first part of his presidency, those first 4 years, was exposing the swamp. Yes, we talked about draining the swamp, but we didn't even touch the drain. The drain hasn't even been lifted. I believe when he comes back in, the draining of the swamp will occur. They know this. This is why the crazy panic is happening right now. Look at the crazy late night talk show host. Look at Stephen Colbert just last week. He had a crazy rant where he took off his glasses. And he's supposed to be a late night comedy host, but they're on there, right, as an extension, an arm of the U.S. government. I go online and I pay attention and I watch to what people are saying. I read some comments today under several posts about the Putin clips. There are others too, but I played that particular one of that Putin clip. And I'm telling you right now, this is an absolute moment of FAFO. F around and find out. This is a warning to everybody who is awake and listening to me right now, who follows me regular. And if you're not, and you don't follow me and somehow this stumbles upon you, this is a warning to you too. Because you're in for a rude awakening. And I am the last person on earth to fearmonger. Like I said, throw all that conspiracy stuff out. There is no tinfoil hat here. Look at the world events. Look at what is happening. It is a boiling pot of water right now, and it's about to boil over. The United States government is on a highway to hell if they keep this up. That man is serious as a heart attack. And again, he is not threatening. He's reminding everyone here in the U.S. He just said, we have missiles that are going to reach your land. And I don't have the clip loaded up, but I posted it yesterday. The nuclear ballistic missile launchers, which I don't know if there were nuclear warheads in there or not, but the military parade's coming up. He knows that. He knows that the world is watching, and he is parading around the ballistic missiles. There's no question. They are flexing their muscles, and they are not backing down. They have the biggest landmass there is on the face of the earth. And here's the other thing, too. I found out a statistic I did not know, but I do know now that as far as ammunition goes, NATO is screwed because the ammunition is 7-1, with Russia having the 7-1 of NATO in the amount of ammunition being produced. They have set more ammunition and weaponry than all of NATO combined. This is why I can't imagine for the life of me for NATO to make a move on Russia. I have a news for you. Russia's going nowhere. Nobody on the face of this earth is ever going to take Russia. So you can get that out of your mind. That is never going to happen. Russia will outlive the United States as far as I'm concerned at this point, because if we keep screwing around the way we're doing it, we'll be the one worried about surviving over here. I'm telling you, folks, right now, this is not a game. This is not a joke. And people probably sat around all day, watched your CNN, watched your Fox News, watched your MSNBC, and didn't hear one damn thing about what I just told you tonight in the clips that I played. Every single American should know what is going on and what is being said. It's going to sneak up on this country so fast that it's going to make people's heads spin. And they're going to be in complete fear and complete panic. And they're not going to know. And maybe that is. And now I'll bring in one thing that I said to take out of your mind. Maybe that is. And I said it would be. Maybe that will be the scare event. And maybe that's what it is, to put a boot up Americans' asses right now to wake them the F up. Because right now I have no idea. I have no idea at all how this country is going to wake up from the people who are completely brainwashed. It's going to take 20, 25 years to re-educate an entire generation after everything we've been through. But I think we need to put some fast forward into that. And if it's going to be an Armageddon moment, well, so be it. It's going to have to be. I don't know what else to do. The only thing left, is the second coming. And I prepare for that as well. I in no way, shape, or form wanted to come in here and put fear into people. I brought information, and important information, to you tonight. It is critical. And I can tell you this right now. I'll play one more small clip because I want to show the other side of Putin, and then we're going to wrap it up. I can tell you this right now. I am going to continue every single podcast I come on here. I'll bring you up at the daily news. We'll have a fun podcast. There'll be different things, but you can always rest assured I'm on top of this stuff. I watch it like a hawk. I pay attention to dialogue, every chess move being made between the United States and NATO and Russia, because I know, just myself, I know how critically, vitally important this is to be well informed of what is going on, because I'm going to make sure that when the time comes, I'm not going to be surprised, and I'm going to be prepared. Here's a clip of Putin earlier today, too, as well, talking about basically the family and birth. Here you go.
И, конечно, главное предназначение семьи – это рождение детей, продолжение рода человеческого, воспитание детей, а значит и продолжение всего нашего многонационального народа. Мы видим, что происходит в некоторых странах, где сознательно разрушают нормы морали, институты семьи, толкают целые народы к вымиранию и вырождению, а мы выбираем жизнь.
We choose life. There is no agenda about depopulation over there. And when he said when we see in other countries. He's talking about us. He's not talking about anybody else but us. And your United States government and your mainstream media are trying to sell you that man's crazy. I have made up my mind. I am no longer a sheep. I will not listen to anybody at all, except for me, my God who directs me with the discernment that I use and the research I do. I will make up my own mind. Nobody will ever pollute this mind again. I will never fall asleep again. And no big tech threat. You can take me down on Facebook all you want. No one's going to ever stop me from saying what I want to say, putting information out, or changing my mind. Because I know confidently that it's not ego. This is wisdom at this point, and God somehow has put it through me. And I hold on to that for dear life. And I'm so confident I know exactly what is going on in this world today. And I'm well aware of it. I'm going to pray for everybody who's asleep, because I can't even imagine what it's going to be like for you. Okay, guys, remember, hit those notification buttons, hit those like buttons, thumbs up buttons on YouTube, on Rumble. Be sure to subscribe, follow, and be notified when I come on the air. Please share these links of my podcast tonight onto Facebook. Let people know. Put the word back out. I'm sure they all know by now. It doesn't take too long that I'm already gone. So other than that, I love you guys. Going to go catch up on the news. And, quick shout out to a friend right now. Kind of a personal thing. Quick shout out to a friend right now. Now you know about my real phone number. So I know none of you know what I'm talking about, but this particular person does. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Take care. Bye-bye.